We can't allow that to happen. The reason why the other side can so easily cast all these votes aside is because they know their folks are showing up regardless. Their folks believe that they're going to win one way. If they got to change the whatever it is. Well, our folks for too long, we've been not seen. We've been not heard. Permission has been given to ignore. The system in far too many ways still won't hear our cries. Well, y'all, as I was always told, when you know better, you do better. We know better. We know better. We know better, y'all. The question is will we do better? Well, I got to tell you, Chris and I, we're committed to this fight because he and I know better, and we're going to follow that advice around doing better. Whether the outcome, whatever that outcome may be in this election, regardless of what it is, whether that is that we in January are sworn in as governor and lieutenant governor, God knows I got to admit to you, that's the outcome I want. Right? I got to admit to you that I don't have any bones about it. Right? There's nobody who wants to be able to serve this state more. I assure you of that. But I also want to assure you that whether it's me or the other person, that I'm going to fight with every fiber of my being, not only to count the votes now, but to ensure that we create a better democratic process for the people who will come after us. That is what this moment requires. And we all have to be in that fight. We all have to be in that fight. This thing has really taken hold of us. It's taken hold of me. Right? I've done my share of shedding of tears, right? About just the confusion in the atmosphere. I have. I want to admit that. I don't mind sharing that vulnerability. But y'all, I know one thing. I have a choice to make too. We can sit back on the couch and underneath the covers and pull them up over my face and, you know, pray that I wake up from a nightmare. Right? Or I can really believe that the sun is going to shine again tomorrow in this state. The sun is going to shine. It's going to come up. It's going to come up. And regardless of who wins this election, it would be true if it were me, and it would be true if it's my opponent. We still got to fight for workers. We still got to fight for health care. We still got to fight for civil and human rights. We still have to get out there and perfect our election system so that we don't find ourselves here today. Again, we still got to fight for those things. So I want you to know that we're fully committed. I can't thank y'all enough for everything you've done up to this point. And God knows I don't have a leg to stand on to ask you to do anything further, but I'm going to ask anyway. I'm going to ask anyway. I've got a short-term ask, which is, in these coming days, we don't let ourselves become intimidated by the ruckus out there. We don't let ourselves become intimidated. Because, look, they've already sent their people down to Broward and Palm Beach. They're already disrupting. They're already trying to slow the countdown. They're already trying to run out the clock. They did it in 2000, and they'd love to see it done again. All right? They're already showing up to intimidate the elections officials, the civil servants who are just trying to do their job. They're already doing that. Well, y'all, we got to keep vigil over this process too. That's right. All right? We've got to do our Jericho walk around this process too. All right? We've got to make sure. We got to make sure. You know about the number. 7 times. Right? We've got to do our part too until every single vote is counted. And once we get beyond this election, whatever the outcome may be, Once we get beyond this election, we will have to commit ourselves to an improved and a better democracy. We got 1.4 million people who have had their very dignity stripped from them. They're going to need our help to politicize them and to engage them in the process, because they can transform what the future of this state and this nation looks like if they choose to get involved in this process. That is our work. That is our work regardless of the outcome. That is our work. And again, I try not to double question or double ask the why. But I'm trying to lean into whatever this is supposed to be, let it be. And I mean that in the higher sense of the word. Right? We're going to fight on earth every single day. We're going to fight in this process. We're going to do our part. But y'all, we can't do it by ourselves. We need you. We need you not like we've never needed you before. And that means we got to continue to show up in this process. We got to demand accountability in this process. And once we are beyond this particular election, we got to make sure that we do the difficult work ahead to make sure that this is a democracy, a system that can once again work for all of us. I believe that it can. I believe that it will. But it's going to require us to do the work. Listen, we already know, for those of us who are believers in this sense, that the steps of a righteous man or woman are ordered. But y'all, we got to move. If the steps are ordered, that means we have to move. And so I'm asking you to move with us. Y'all, I may be addressing you tonight as the mayor of the city of Tallahassee, and my faith is still resting on the chance to address you as governor of the great state of Florida. But right now, I'm addressing you as a Floridian, and I want you to know we got work to do. Let's count every vote. Let's count every vote. Let's count every vote. Let's count every vote, y'all. God bless you. We love you. We love you. We thank you. Let's count every vote.
Good evening, church. My name is Wes Lathrop. I am the Executive Director of the Faith in Florida Action Fund. I'm so glad that you all are out here tonight. After work, after a long day, you're still here, and I'm glad you are. I'm glad you are. You know, we had a similar event like this in Broward on Sunday. I'm kind of getting used to this. I feel like we should just keep going and like make our way around the whole state of Florida and do every county. This is getting fun. So I want to talk about action steps and going forward. And I want to do a little bit of recognition first. So first of all, I want to recognize all of our partners that made tonight possible, that made these last few nights possible. The Dream Defenders. Yes, those Dream Defenders. Remember they said they were too radical because they thought every person should have health care? Well, if that's too radical, you can count us in on being too radical as well. Amen? Flick Votes, SAIU Florida, New Florida Majority, Organized Florida, Boricua Vota, Alianza, and NAACP. Thank you. I really want to thank my staff, too, who put so much time and energy organizing this and partnering with the Gillum staff, and it's been a real blessing. So thank you for that. I want to let you all in on one thing. So in June, a few miles from here, Faith in Florida had a clergy convening of about 100 clergy, and we were talking about what we were going to do this year together, and we invited all the gubernatorial candidates, and only 2 people showed up. Any guess who those 2 are? They're right here to my left. I don't think it's a coincidence that these 2 gentlemen have remained committed to being in communities, to be in the grassroots, listening, and to walking with us. So I'm thankful to both of you. So in my tradition, in the Christian tradition, there's a couple themes that I want to lay out. So in Ephesians, it says that we were created to do good works. In 2 Corinthians, it calls us ambassadors. So both of these terms suggest to me that we have responsibility as people of faith. You hear me? We have responsibility to fight and dismantle systems that leave people out and make people invisible. We have a responsibility to do something about those systems. But I want to acknowledge that many of us in the room tonight have put your God-given agency to work over these last few months. So I want to recognize you. So how many of you tonight were on the phone calling voters to encouraging people to vote in this election? All right?